indeed. Good afternoon. Well, senior members of the royal family have been gathered here at one of the royal palaces as people come in to offer their condolences. And we have just heard that while the KwaZulu-Natal Premier has announced a week of mourning for the Zulu King, the President has also announced that there will be a special official funeral Category 1. I'm joined now by the brother and the King's advisor, Prince Zulu. Thank you for speaking to News from Africa, and our condolences to your family, sir. I know this is a very devastating time. Perhaps can you share with us some of your fondest memories of His Majesty?
Thank you once again to have a moment with you just to express our appreciation for you people to come and just to have a word, because we don't have much to say about what happened. As it is for now, it's a great loss. Since we had the news that the King has passed on, it brings good memories, sad memories, but the last thing is that we'll never see him again. What role has he played within his community, within his family? No one can fill up that gap. We're still mourning because we never expected him to be lost into this nation so early, because he has been good to us. Everything that he has been, you know, he was a straight talker. Most importantly is that he did believe in the Almighty God. Whenever anything that starts with his ceremonies, he'll seek the advice from the Lord. So we appreciate that what has happened to us as the royal family, losing him, because he has made a lot of things to us. When we lose our family members, even if it wasn't for him, he will come out and say, I'll keep my hand to assist in whatever way. This he hasn't done only for the Zulu royal family. Even for people outside of this province, he has done those that he knew better than anyone. So it's a great loss, not only to us, to those people that we call friends to him. They've lost. The churchgoers, the Zulu nation, I don't know. I'm speechless, really.
The King, sir, you know, he's spoken about as someone who united people as well. In the past few months, what were the topics or the issues that he spoke about that he wanted to tackle as well?
You know, there's this very much concerning thing, this pandemic, COVID-19. He was in the forefront. Even I myself, I can attest to that. He instructed me to go and test. And then when I gave him the results, he even said, I told you a long time ago. So I had to go to quarantine. I'm saying this, he didn't say to the nation only, but he did say to his family members. So the role that he has played, the King, as the King, he didn't say, because I'm the King, I have to do things my own way. He listened to what the government was saying, you know. So I think in the past year, because he had to sacrifice the ceremonies that we used to have annually, and then he said, I can't let my people die because of this pandemic.
You know, I was just speaking about these events, for example, in Nkosi Mhlanga. These maidens came so excited, you know, to see their king. What message does the family have for the youth who at this point are heartbroken?
You know, I'll say this in Zulu because you need to understand how his expression was. Because when he talks about the maidens, because when they come in numbers during the returns, he said, you are my soldiers, you are the people that I can defend my kingdom with you, because you listen to me. It's otherwise with the boys. So I'm saying to you, it's a great loss to the lovely ladies that some of them have got married because they followed what the King used to say during the returns. So it's a great loss.
And, you know, just going forward with regards to funeral arrangements, I understand there is now a special official funeral for His Majesty. What are the family's comments on this, and maybe a final message to South Africans?
I don't know how can you put it to the mighty King that he has been. If you are telling me that the President has said such a thing, it will be something of, you know, we will be very much appreciative of what the President has said, because he deserves to be more than what because all these years being on the throne for 50 years, next year was going to be 50 years. So what he has done for the nation, we cannot count and say this is what he has done. This is not what he has done.
Thank you very much,
Thank you very
Prince Zulu, speaking to us on behalf of the royal family there. Of course, a giant tree has fallen, he says, and, giving a message as well to the young maidens too, who were, over the past years very excited to see the king during his events. We do understand that the remains of the Zulu King will be brought to this palace tomorrow. This would be led by the traditional Prime Minister to the Zulu monarch, Prince Mangosuthu Buthelezi. And so at this point, and we also understand that over the next week, KwaNongoma is going to become a hive of activity as we see high-profile delegates come here to offer their condolences to the royal family. I understand that on Sunday, the KwaZulu-Natal Premier, Sihle Zikalala, will lead a delegation here as well. And at this point, we don't have the exact funeral details, but that should be released later this week.
Now, Karinda, do we know at this stage how long or the period at which the body will lie in state at the Royal Palace is going to be?
Well, earlier today, Prince Buthelezi said that the body will lie in state here at this residence for several days. This is one of the palaces where the king actually grew up. And so, of course, it's a very important and critical point to make of, because, of course, this is the place where he was born, and ultimately we understand the place where he will be laid to rest. And over this week, while people will come here to offer their condolences, the traditional Prime Minister, Prince Buthelezi, is saying that it is important for COVID-19 protocol to be respected. And we just heard Prince Zulu say that the king was very concerned about this, and in his address much earlier today, Prince Buthelezi saying, reminding everyone that COVID-19 protocols must be respected, because he wouldn't have wanted anyone to be impacted while, of course, coming here to offer their condolences for his passing.
What are the other implications that come with a special official funeral category 1, Karinda, especially when it comes to things like a memorial service, especially now under the extended state of emergency, how that is going to be playing out?
Well, we're yet to see how this is going to unfold, because traditionally the special official funerals would see a buzz of activity, and from what we understand is that there will be elements of the South African National Defence Force also present at the funeral. And while we say this, of course, because of lockdown and contingency measures, there are, of course, curbing measures and restrictions on how funerals should be held. So it's going to be interesting to see the balance between that, because, of course, people will want to come in their numbers to KwaNongoma to pay their respects, their final respects and condolences to the Zulu King. And it's going to be interesting to see how the police and the local government will actually handle this and curtail numbers, and also follow the social distancing protocols to avoid, of course, the funeral from becoming or turning into a super spreader. So we're going to, of course, be engaging with the KwaZulu-Natal government on how they will carry this out, because the king was the longest reigning monarch of the Zulu nation, and of course this means that there's going to be a number of people that will want to actually come here and pay their final respects.
Karinda Jack Mohan, live for us in KwaNongoma, KwaZulu-Natal. Appreciate your time tonight, and thank you very much for joining us. So, well, there you are. It is the latest coming in from the presidency. The royal king of the Zulu Kingdom, rather, afforded the special official funeral category 1. This is reserved for serving ministers, Speaker of the National Assembly, Chief Justice of the Republic of South Africa, Chairperson of the National Council of Provinces, as well as premiers of the provinces. It will include a component of the National Defence Force, but this is, of course, largely going to also be driven by the royal family. Those details will unfold, of course, as the week progresses. In a moment, when we continue here on News at Prime, 7 suspects accused of corruption in the VBS bank collapse have been granted bail. We'll tell you how much they paid to secure their bail. Stay with us.